It's Thursday, March 6. In the headlines, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is urging developers to build houses for the low-income market. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, launches a new smart fare system. In business news, the third leg of the 2025 MSME Business Roadshow to be hosted at the St. Elizabeth Technical High School on Thursday, March 6. Regionally, Barbados is working to deepen partnerships with India. And in sports, Senior Cup rebranded to honor Michael Holding. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is urging housing developers to utilize the economic tools at hand, such as the Guaranteed Purchase Program. Dr. Holness was speaking while on a tour of Oak Estates in Portmore, St. Catherine.
So, in the Jamaican context, like any other country, you have different housing segments, and the government plays its part by trying to make a market that can support all segments within that market. The Jamaican housing market does fairly well in providing houses for upper, middle, upper, and it does pretty well in providing houses for middle and affordable. The challenge is in the segment of the market that you would describe as low income and achievable housing.
The National Housing Trust, under its Guaranteed Purchase Program, accepts application from public and private sector real estate developers to deliver affordable housing solutions for its contributors in its lowest income groups. Under this agreement, the NHD agrees to purchase for its contributors all or some units in housing developments. The developer accepts all the risks associated with the planning, designing, financing, and completing the housing solutions, while the NHD undertakes the marketing in respect of the agreed number of solutions. The Prime Minister notes that Jamaica is doing well in providing housing for upper and middle-class residents, but providing housing solutions for those in the lower socioeconomic market remains a challenge.
I am hopeful that with the incentives and the other measures that we have taken to attract persons into the segment of the market, including the provision of land, including removing any risk of lack of sale that may exist through the Guaranteed Purchase Program, we're hoping that more persons, more contractors, more housing developers will get involved in that segment of the market, which is really where the challenge is.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC Limited, has outfitted its buses with its new smart fare system. The system uses state-of-the-art technology to enable passengers to utilize a cashless system to pay their fares. The new system was launched on Tuesday alongside JUTC's Ride Right with Smart Fare public education campaign, aimed at encouraging responsible commuting habits and creating a better commuting culture that benefits passengers and the wider transport system. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport Daryl Vaz says the new system is one of several initiatives being employed by the company to usher in a more convenient service.
Ride Right with Smart Fare is more than a technological upgrade. It is a forward step in our commitment to better serve the commuters of Jamaica. I commend Mr. Owen Ellington, Acting Managing Director, JUTC, and his team for their tremendous work in revolutionizing the JUTC's operation while ensuring improvement in commuter services. For years, the JUTC has operated with the fare-on system. However, it has now reached the end of its life cycle, with service parts for ticket machines no longer available.
This eliminates the need for specialized equipment to process cards and top-ups, making it easier for commuters to add funds and check their balances.
One of the long-standing challenges within the JUTC has been revenue leakage, particularly from cash transactions. The smart fare system significantly reduces cash handling, thereby closing loopholes that allow for revenue loss. This ensures that every dollar spent by a commuter goes towards improving services and expanding the JUTC network.
The Smart Fare mobile app will allow commuters to check their ride history, account balance, and even pay fares directly from their mobile devices. For the month of February 2025, Jamaica recorded the lowest number of murders in a month since the year 2000. That's the word from Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. She shared the information while speaking at this week's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House.
For the month of February 2025, Jamaica recorded 47 murders. Now we need to put that in context. That is the lowest monthly count since 2000. We're in 2025. So in 25 years, this has been the lowest number of murders in a month.
Senator Morris-Dixon further informed that murders are down 35% from the start of the year for January and February.
A historic low number. It means we are going in the right direction. All the work that has been done is paying fruit. And so Jamaica, we need to celebrate this. When the numbers were going up, it was all over the place. Everybody was stressed. Everybody was talking about what's happening in the country. Now we have it going in the other direction. Let's celebrate it.
Jamaica is gearing up to showcase its booming outsourcing industry at the upcoming Outsource to Jamaica 2025 conference in Montego Bay on April 11. The event, themed Driving Excellence, Talent, Technology and Transformation, is expected to attract global and local leaders in the BPO, KPO and IT-enabled services sectors. More in this report from Danita Rodney.
Chair of the Outsource to Jamaica 2025 conference, Gloria Henry, is urging businesses to support the event, highlighting the significant opportunities it presents.
The Outsource to Jamaica is a buyer's as well as a seller's event. Buyers from the perspective of buying of local services. We have a very dynamic network of service providers here in Jamaica that supplies the industry, whether it is cabling, whether it is security, whether it is ancillary cleaning services, whether it's transportation, whether it's accommodation, whether it's banking and finance, whether it is procurement. It's a lot of services that the industry buys locally. So buyers have the opportunity to not just showcase their presence and their business and services, but to also sell to these entities.
Ms. Henry says the conference is an opportunity for sponsor visibility and to connect with buyers.
You will get your brand visibility as a sponsor. You will get the opportunity to connect. You will get the opportunity to market your products and services. So it is a full-fledged, fully integrated ecosystem for buyers and sellers at Outsource to Jamaica.
The conference will also expose students to career opportunities in the sector.
We also have the schools that's not in that target group, because we usually bring out the students for the final leg at the event so they can see, so they can sign up for jobs, they can be part of the job fair, they can learn about the sector. So we usually invite the schools from around the area to be part of the event as well.
With over 300 attendees expected, the Outsource to Jamaica 2025 conference is set to position Jamaica as a leading outsourcing destination. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
In the business report, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce is to host the third leg of its 2025 MSME Business Roadshow in Santa Cruz at the St. Elizabeth Technical High School on Thursday, March 6. The Cross-Island Road Shows are held in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. Attendees will have access to 19 agencies under the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, along with support from other government entities, financial institutions, and corporate sponsors. Jamaica-based Productive Business Solutions Limited, which has a complement of 3,000 IT professionals, has expanded its portfolio with the acquisition of 45% equity in Trinidad Systems Limited. Last year, the company completed the acquisition of Xerox's operations in Peru and Ecuador, increasing its footprint in Latin America and strengthening the relationship it has with Xerox. Speaking during the recent media launch for the Global Services Association of Jamaica's Outsource to Jamaica conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston, Vice President of BPO and Logistics at the Port Authority of Jamaica, Gloria Henry, said that the growth of the sector over the last 40 years has been significant. Jamaican BPO sector now occupies 3 million square feet island-wide. Up next, we have the market highlights from Denise Williams.
For the trading period ending March 4, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Real estate conglomerate Pan Jamaica Group Limited with 344,365,449 units traded, representing 95.22% of market sales volume. Caribbean financial conglomerate JMB Group Limited 9.5% preference shares with 7,047,244 units traded, representing 1.95% of market sales volume. And toll road operator Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 1,674,329 units traded, representing 0.46% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On March 4, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $55.81 million was purchased and US $54.95 million was sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.87 per dollar, selling the US at $157.88 and buying the US at $156.01. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 67 cents per transaction, with selling at $108.58 and buying at $107.91. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.44 in profit, with selling at $198.21 and buying at $196.77.
For your credit report tip of the day, reaching your 60s with debt can feel like a heavy emotional weight. Yes, there may be regret. Yes, there may be frustration, but there's also hope. The moment you decide to take action, you shift from feeling powerless to empowered. Debt doesn't have to follow you into your retirement years. You can break free. One suggestion is to find new income streams without overworking. Ideas such as freelancing, consulting, or monetizing a hobby can bring in extra income without exhausting yourself. Then consider downsizing or renting extra space. A smaller home can lower expenses, or renting out a room can create passive income. In regional news, Barbados is strengthening ties with India, focusing on key areas like climate change and renewable energy. The announcement came during a ceremony at State House where India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was awarded the Honorary Order of Freedom. Rachel Lagarde has the details.
There's a view partnerships with India are exceptionally important for Barbados. According to Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Carrie Simmons, it's important to boost specific areas going forward. He says India and Barbados share many common perspectives.
There are some areas which I believe we will be able to anticipate. We're going to be talking as suspect about climate change and renewable energy partnership. India is a leader in renewable energy, and this is a group that we've committed ourselves to, as you well know. Equally, a lot of work is being done by this country in pharmaceuticals, and we are partnering with India in that regard, and a lot of the regulatory frameworks and so on that we must do as we begin now our first steps towards being a country that is engaged in pharmaceutical production will be done in partnership with India.
Mr. Simmons also says it's an opportunity to zero in on areas not focused on in the past.
Perhaps the time has come for us to have that direct flight from New Delhi or any other port to Barbados directly. But above and beyond all of that, there's also the question for us now to diversify some of our supply chains and to build connections commercially with India. And later on this year, Barbados is going to be reaching out to India, and we will establish a diplomatic presence there. And those are some of the discussions that we're going to be having. As we expand our diplomatic footprint around the world, we do so with a view to broadening not only the country's opportunities politically and diplomatically, but economically, commercially, financially as well.
Meanwhile, India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Shri Pabitra Margarita, accepted the award on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's behalf, given for his country's assistance during the COVID-19 pandemic by providing much-needed vaccines. And he says since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries in November 1966, they have built and cultivated a robust partnership.
Bilateral relations between the two countries have reached new heights under the present charismatic leaderships of Honorable Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Modi. The traction achieved through bilateral engagements and support continues to foster these relations. As we move forward, let us continue to build on this foundation of trust and cooperation and embrace new opportunities of collaboration and work together towards a more resilient and prosperous future for our peoples.
Minister Margarita also attended sessions at Parliament following the ceremony. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves is weighing in on the recent Venezuelan naval incursion into Guyana's waters, making it clear that the area in question is undoubtedly under Guyana's jurisdiction. Speaking on NBC Radio, Gonsalves, who plays a key role in the Argyll Declaration peace process, reaffirmed the treaty's commitment as the dispute awaits an ICJ ruling.
They had an interaction with the floating production, storage, and offloading platforms. These are undoubtedly under Guyana's jurisdiction because that's for the purpose of the oil. Taking the oil out from below the seabed. And immediately the Argyll Declaration had to be activated. The Argyll Declaration works. Even after the ICJ delivers a judgment, whichever way they go, you're still going to have tensions. They may deliver a judgment sometime later this year. Or early next year. I don't know. I'm not too up to speed on the progress of the litigation, and I know the ICJ will take some time to write the judgment and so forth, because we have this role which we are playing, and I take the role seriously too.
A regional leader is calling out one of Grenada's own. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is blasting a $22 million residence for the Eastern Caribbean Bank Central Governor in St. Kitts, calling it a monumental blunder and a, quote, veritable palace, end quote.
Grenadian-born Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, Timothy Antoine, is coming under intense fire over a decision to proceed with what has been described as a lavish $22 million EC dollar residence in St. Kitts. According to regional reports, the 10,000 square foot mansion, intended as the official residence of the ECCB governor, has ignited widespread criticism amid ongoing economic challenges across the region. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been one of the most vocal critics, questioning Mr. Antoine's continued leadership of the ECCB. In a letter to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union Monetary Council Chairman and Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, Gonsalves described the project as an absolute scandal and an unacceptable extravagance. He asserted that such excessive spending is indefensible, particularly when many citizens are struggling with soaring food prices and mounting poverty. This act of excessive spending is an outrage. The ECCU cannot afford a governor who has an appetite for such unaffordable opulence, Gonsalves wrote, highlighting what he called a total lack of sensitivity and prudence on the part of the governor. He further urged the Monetary Council to evaluate whether Antoine's continued leadership is tenable under these circumstances. Acknowledging that the project is too advanced to cancel, Gonsalves proposed alternative solutions, suggesting the ECCB either sell the property to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis or convert it into a luxury tourist accommodation. The controversy has sparked intense debate across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The ECCB has remained silent on the issue, with a local office stating they have no comment at this time. All calls to Antoine earlier today for comment have also proven futile. GBN reached out for further comment from the Grenadian government, as the ECCB is a multi-state-owned entity that serves 8 islands in the Eastern Caribbean. However, the Prime Minister was otherwise engaged and unable to comment on this development. Stay tuned to GBN for further updates on this developing story. Reporting for GBN News, Nisha Paul.
In sports, we open the innings with cricket. Jamaica's premier local cricket competition has a new name and a new sponsor. The Jamaica Cricket Association has rebranded its top tournament as the Michael Holding Senior Cup, honoring the legendary West Indies fast bowler. The announcement came at Tuesday's press launch at Kingston Cricket Club. In a video message, Michael Holding expressed his full support for the tournament.
I'm hoping that this Senior Cup going forward will continue to grow large crowds, will continue to produce some top-class cricketers to represent Jamaica. We need a Senior Cup that is vibrant. We need a Senior Cup that is well supported by the fans and by sponsors, and let's hope we can look forward to that. Now, thank you again very much for associating my name with the Senior Cup. Michael Holding Senior Cup. Never thought it would ever happen. I never even dreamt about that when I was a young man playing cricket. Thanks again and good luck.
Cricket Operations Manager O'Neill Cruikshank outlined the competition's format.
The Michael Holding Senior Cup, all of us have to get used to that, eh? The Michael Holding Senior Cup competition begins on the 15th of March. This year, the teams will be in zones of 4, so we will have all 24 teams taking part. So we will have 6 zones of 4, and the competition will be played as a double round robin, which means every team gets to play each other twice on a home and away basis. Having said home and away basis, the board of the JCA has decided that we need to take a look at the standards under which some of the venues are operating, and we may decide that if those standards are not at the minimum level, teams may have to play their matches away from home for this year. So in the preliminary round, we will have, as I said, 6 preliminary rounds. And then we move to the quarterfinals. There will be 8 teams in the quarterfinals, and those 8 teams will be made up of the 6 zone winners and who we determine to be the best 2 second-place finishers. Your playing conditions that you will get will help you to understand how the best 2 second-place finishers will be determined, and those teams will then compete in the quarterfinals.
The Jamaican right-arm fast bowler, Michael Holding, is described as one of West Indies' greatest ever players in their greatest ever era. His run-up is described as long but nonchalant. His delivery stride smooth yet explosive. His release languid but deadly. Mr. Holding was part of a quartet of West Indies fast bowlers called the Awesome Foursome, who came together in the late 1970s under the legendary leadership of Clive Lloyd. Kishore Shallow has been nominated unopposed as president of Cricket West Indies, CWI, to serve a 2nd consecutive term. According to CWI, Dr. Vice President Azim Basharath has also been nominated unopposed. The term will officially commence on March 29, 2025 at CWI's annual general meeting in Antigua, where the organization is headquartered. This would mark the 2nd successive election in which President Shallow would be elected unopposed. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas are on a winning streak, securing their 3rd consecutive victory in the CG United Women's Super 50 Cup with a 5-wicket win over Barbados. Adrian Lazar has the story.
At the St. Paul's Sports Complex in St. Kitts and Nevis, Barbados took on the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in round 4 of the CG United Super 50 Women's Cup. Batting first, Barbados saw a decent start when Kaisa Knight and Asabi Calendar got 32 for 2 on 15.2 overs before being dismissed. Despite an innings high of 23 runs from Kishona Knight, a strong bowling performance by TNT saw Anissa Mohammed and Samara Ramnath claiming 3 wickets each to leave Barbados on 76 all out after 40.5 overs. TNT made quick work of their innings, chasing down the total in only 22 overs. Even while losing some unnecessary wickets, 27 runs from Janaba Joseph guided the Red Force Divas to 77 for 5, winning the match by 5 wickets and securing their 3rd win of the campaign. In other results, Guyana defeated Windward Islands by 7 wickets, while in a nail-biting affair it was Leeward Islands who came out on top by 1 wicket over Jamaica. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our media platforms at PBCJamaica. And do remember, we are the People's Station.